Hi everyone, we're going to be going over Eureka Grade 4, Module 6, Lesson 11, or specifically what our community is going over on Wednesday, April 22nd. We're going to be looking at some mixed numbers in various forms and comparing them. So let's go ahead and start, and let's first think about two mixed numbers, specifically thinking about 1 and 41/100ths versus 1 and 4/10ths. All right, and so we want to compare, which means that I'm going to be using my alligator mouth in order to show which one is greater. And it's very important that we remember throughout this that 10/100ths is the same as 1/10th. So remember, we can do that by using our identity property, and it's important to remember this because we want to go ahead and always have our same units so that way it's, or similar units, so that way it's easy for us to compare. So when I'm looking at this, and we can remember that 1 and 4/10ths is the same as 1 and 4/10ths in its fractional form, 1 and 4/10ths is going to be the same as 1 and 40/100ths. So I have 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10ths, 10/10, 20/10, 30/10, 40/10. So again, we can just add that 0 as we have talked about in our shortcut, because when we multiply by 10, we do move over a place value. And so now we have 1 and 40/100ths versus 1 and 41/100ths. Well, my wholes are the same, so I do have to look at my next one. And so I do know that 41/100ths will be greater because 41 is greater than 40. All right, so now let's go ahead and take this comparison knowledge and start to use that to put some values in order from least to greatest. So the values we're going to be putting in order is 4 and 3/100ths, 4 ones and 33/100ths, 4 and 43/100ths, and I'm going to go ahead and write that with our brush. So 4 and 43/100ths in our fractional form. And then lastly, we're going to do 43/10ths. Okay, so as we're looking at all of these, I want to go ahead and put all of them in terms of hundredths because I can see that that's my smallest unit. I'm also going to go ahead and put all of them in terms of decimals because that's kind of where my mind is at today. And that is also the focus of our Module 6. Okay, so my 4 and 3/100ths is already written as a decimal. 4 ones and 33/100ths would be 4 and 33/100ths as a decimal. My 4 and 43/100ths would be 4 and 43/100ths as a decimal. And then lastly, I have my 43/10ths. With my 43/10ths, I need to think about how many wholes I can make. I know that one whole is the same as 10/10ths. So in 40/10ths, I can make 4 wholes because I have 10/10ths, 20/10ths, 30/10ths, 40/10ths, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 wholes, and then I have 3/10ths left over. This harkens back to that first one that we did. 3/10ths is the same as 30/100ths because 3/10ths times 10/10ths would give me that 30/100ths. All right, now that I have all the same unit, I can go ahead and put them in order. My 4 and 3/100ths is my smallest unit, or my least unit, or my lesser, Next would be 4 and 30/100ths, or that 43/10ths, followed by that 4 ones and 33/100ths, and then lastly my 4 and 43/100ths. All right, let's go ahead and do one more. All of them are going to be very similar because, again, we're just focusing on using our decimal and fractional knowledge in order to put mixed numbers in order. All right, our next set of mixed numbers that we are working with is 13 and 12/100ths. This one is in word form. Then I have 13 and 21/100ths. And then I have a fraction, and that fraction that I am working with is 130/10ths. All right, so this time we only have 3. Again, I'm going to do the same sort of thing. I'm going to make sure that all of mine are in my hundredths because that's my smallest unit. I can decompose into smaller units. I can't always compose or combine into a larger unit. And I'm going to go ahead and put them all in decimal form. All right, so I have 13 and 12 hundredths. That next one is already in decimal form, 13 and 21 hundredths. And lastly, I have 130 tenths. We're going to do the same thing as we did before. How many groups of 10 tenths can I make from 130 tenths? And the answer is 13 because I can do 10 tenths 13 times. I'm going to write that down here. I can do 10 tenths 13 times and I would get 130 tenths. And I don't have any left over, so it's just 13. All right, let's go ahead and put them in order. My 130 tenths would be my smallest one because it was just 13. Then I would have my 13 and 12 hundredths. And then lastly, I would have my 13 and 21 hundredths. And that's how we can order our mixed numbers from least to greatest. All right, so once again, friends, this was our review of what our community did on Wednesday, the 22nd. This corresponds to Eureka, grade 4, module 6. There we go, lesson 11. As always, please let me know if you have any questions or if I can help in any way, and I hope that this helps you with your practice activity. Thanks so much.